Take a walk on the woo-woo side with me. Hello, I'm Michelle Douglas and I'm an intuitive healer, coach and soul realignment practitioner. And I'm on a mission to empower you to make the choices which align to who you are as a soul. If you'd like more information, visit me at findmysparkle.com. Hello there, it's Michelle here, and today we're going to be talking about manifestation and in particular why you haven't manifested what you want. If you're watching the video or listening to the podcast, it's because you may be wanting to manifest something and it hasn't shown up in your reality yet. So why haven't you manifested what you want? There's one reason why, and that reason is that you are not vibrationally aligned with having whatever it is you want. So if you made aligned choices to bring you into vibrational alignment with that thing, then it would show up. So whenever you're wondering why your desires aren't showing up in your life, it's simply because you're not yet aligned to having it. So not achieving your goals or manifesting what you want doesn't mean you're not worthy or deserving of having whatever it is you want. It's just that your current choices and actions are not moving you into a vibrational alignment with your desires. And it's really that simple. So when we're in this situation, we tend to continue to self-sabotage. There are a number of ways in which we self-sabotage. And the first one is rationalizing why you haven't manifested what you want. So one thing I want you to remember right now is that the rationalization that I'm not supposed to have this now, or there's a lesson I need to learn first, is completely untrue. I would personally say this to myself to help me feel better in the past, but that didn't get me off the couch and working on a plan to align myself with my desires, did it? So this is one way we sort of keep sabotaging our manifestation efforts. So if you have a desire for something, then it is possible for you to have it. Otherwise, you wouldn't want it. It wouldn't be a desire. So be sure to keep that in mind. Another one is to keep telling yourself that it's coming, and I am guilty of this one. Well, I used to be guilty of this one. So I've felt this feeling that it's coming many times, and just because I think that doesn't mean it necessarily will happen if I'm not changing my choices and actions, because that's really just my mind buying into the experience of having what I desire if I think about it coming, right? So it's all well and good to have our mind aligned with that thing, but without taking new 3D, aka physical action, we cannot attract what we want. People who think it's coming often don't think there's anything left to do to attract that thing. So that's sad, but true, not true. So new actions must take place for that thing to finally appear in your experience. So if you've got this feeling of it's coming, please be sure to make sure that you're making the right choices and actions that align to who you are as a soul and also in alignment with your manifestation blueprint. Another way we self-sabotage is thinking that we're already doing everything we need to do. And here's the thing. If it's not here yet, then you're not doing what you need to do to bring that thing into your reality, right? Into your experience. So what if you are taking a bunch of actions, none of which are aligned with who you are as a soul or with your manifesting blueprint? You can't manifest from that place. You're literally repelling it or just keeping the door shut instead of opening it up and letting it through, right? So when you attempt to manifest out of alignment with who you are, you will create more mess, I guess, than anything else. Another thing we might do is coming up with additional things you think you need to do first. So sometimes a person will add in new things they must complete first. So I must finish this course, or I must do that, or I must do this to my house first before I can have what I want. Before you're able to have whatever it is you want, right? So you're sort of going, I've got to have this before I can have that. And that list could be a mile long. And it's just your way of expressing that you don't think you deserve to have that thing. So you'll focus on other stuff instead and put it off. Another one is changing your intention, which is also known as intention hopping. If you're constantly changing your intention or changing your mind about what energy is attached to that intention, and the energy stuff gets explained during our sessions together, you might as well be at an archery convention, are there such things? I don't know, where somebody's picking up the targets and constantly moving them around so you can't hit them, right? So when coming up with your intention, you must be totally committed to having that specific goal and be clear about the energy of having achieved that goal, or you'll be missing the target on, so to speak. So this form of self-sabotage will often happen at the messy point between where you've been and where you want to go. So when you start taking aligned action, things will get a little bit messy. For some people more than others, but it will get messy. And it doesn't feel good to be in that spot. So some people will shift and change their intention as a means to reduce the discomfort. But all that does is prevent them from achieving or creating what they want. When your choices align to your manifesting blueprint, things get a little bit easier. So your manifesting blueprint is simply your roadmap to manifesting what you want. Most people are making choices and taking actions which are completely at odds with aspects of their manifesting blueprint, which is why they've not yet attracted what they want. So they end up making choices and heading in a completely different direction to where they actually want to go. So I'm going to cover now some examples of misalignment to the manifesting blueprint. Okay, so some manifesting advice, and I talked about this in a previous podcast and in a previous article on the website, that we're often given manifesting advice, or these manifesting programs are saying, yeah, do it this way. And for some people, those pieces of advice are all wrong. So one of them might be to join a mastermind group or similar of like-minded people. Now, that's a really great idea for a lot of people on the planet, but it's a terrible idea for some other people. Like, I'm one of those that should not be in a mastermind. I've always thought, yeah, I need to join a mastermind, but apparently that's a misalignment to my manifesting blueprint. So I would not do well in that situation, especially if they're like-minded. I know, weird. I guess another good one is making a vision board. Now, I don't know about you, but I've heard about this suggestion so many times. Make a vision board, put pictures of things that you want all over it, and get clear on what you want to manifest. What does it look like? That sort of thing. And this advice works really well for some people, my husband included, but for someone like me, it's a terrible idea and it won't work. It just won't, because I am not outcome focused. And I never knew this. So there you go. So here I've been working on my goals and my visions and looking at the end result. And that's the last place I should be looking. Okay, another one is get yourself out amongst people. You can't manifest from your couch, sort of thing. And not for people like me. It is for many others. Like my husband is very what we call external. So he's got to be out amongst people in order to help him manifest. Whereas I'm a more internal type person, and I can do a lot on my own in my alone time, a lot more than I could be when I'm out amongst people. Now, it's not to say I'm a complete hermit, but at the same time, I do need my alone space to help me get into that manifestation groove, so to speak. Another one, which for me is brilliant, is take consistent action towards your goals. So for someone like me, I need to take specific, consistent action if I want to achieve what I want to achieve. That's a me thing. But for some people, they need to vary their actions in order to manifest. So, and there will be various ends of the scale that we fall into. But if you've got someone telling you that you must take consistent action and that doesn't align with who you are, that's never going to work for you. You need to vary. So not having that knowledge of what is right for you is going to actually make things a little bit tougher for you. So another one is, in order to succeed in business, life, whatever, you need to come up with something new and different, something innovative. And for some people, yes, this is true. But for someone, again, like me, no. I'm more a reinventor of the wheel, or, making things better, or finding something I like and making it better. But there are people out there who will thrive in coming up with new and different ways to do things. So again, we're all at different ends of the scale or various parts of that scale, and that will actually determine which way we're best to go forward with our goals. Another piece of advice I've heard before is that, you need to be the change, despite what your environment's telling you, be the change. And yes, for me, that would be true. But for somebody else, they need to respond based on what's going on inside them and in their environment as well in order to start or work through that manifesting process. So again, whether we're instigating change or responding to situations is going to depend on who we are as a soul. And the last one, this is my favorite because I, as a coach, have used this with people saying, what do you want? And I've had people, I've got a specific friend in particular who I've asked this question of, and she said, I don't know. And that's because I was asking her the wrong question. So for somebody like me, I'm actually kind of in the middle actually for this particular one. But for somebody like me, yeah, asking me what I do want is great. But if you ask a person whose manifesting blueprint reflects differently on the scale, this will not work. This question will never work for them. If you ask them what they want, they won't know, like I said before. So it's really important to understand where someone is coming from and where they are as a soul so that you can ask, as a coach, the right questions of that person to help them move forward and manifest what they want. So as you can see, making new choices and taking new actions in order to create a new outcome isn't as simple as take this new action and you can have what you want, because it's a lot more complicated than that. The new action must align firstly with your soul blueprint, and that's who you are as a soul, and we cover that in all of my soul realignment readings and coaching sessions. Like, that's really important for me to understand what sort of person you are, what are your gifts, what sort of environments do you thrive in, which ones do you struggle in, that sort of thing. And you also need to be in alignment with your manifesting blueprint in order to move you in the right direction. And that really gives me an idea as your coach as to which actions are best for you. Like, what way should you approach your manifesting process? If you've got a bunch of actions, we can actually test them as well and say, will this one be in alignment with your blueprint or not? Having your manifesting blueprint as your very own manifesting tool gives you a great deal of power and ability to create what you want, because it spells out for you what types of actions you should and shouldn't be taking. And I was very surprised when I did my own blueprint. Well, I had it partly done for me by my mentor, but what I learned from that is, for the most part, yes, I'm acting in alignment when making choices in alignment with my blueprint, but there's a whole bunch of areas where I'm really not, and I'm actually way out of alignment. And I'm like, oh, no wonder this part of my life isn't going as well as I'd like it to. It's amazing. The knowledge can be power if you do something with it. So anyone can manifest whatever they want without this tool, of course. But for me, it's more about, when you've got the tool, you're not going to have to go with trial and error to get there. Having the tool on hand so you can compare your proposed actions against your blueprint will save you time and effort. So if you'd like to learn more about how to get your hands on your very own manifesting blueprint, or if you'd like to have a chat, be sure to visit my soul realignment page or just reach out to me on my contact page for a chat, and we shall talk soon, I hope. See you later.